Hey everyone, my name is Cody. This game I'm working on called Chronicles of Virtue. It's a tactical RPG where you play as Arya, a team she assembles who will live in a world that's just been introduced to magic. So as you make your way through the story, you're going to learn how to harness that magic, but so are other powerful groups. And so today we're working on more spell animations. Really, I'm working on a lot of the animations revolving the sword and really designing those spells as well. So if I go look at this, currently what I have a lot of my black magic with my rod complete. And then I have some of the sword spells complete, but today we're going to be working on a couple more. I think specifically, I'm going to be finishing up haste. We kind of worked on it last time. So every weapon has its own type of kind of magic, it has its own play style. And so, the rod is area of effect spells. The sword is going to be more kind of a DPS type of weapon. So gonna be working through that. Here's just a couple of examples of black magic we have. So there was water and ice. And then we're gonna be working on the lightning sword spell today. So here's the lightning black magic spell for some context here. Here is what that looks like. So I'm gonna try to fit some of the same play styles so you get the same kind of elements. And the idea here is that you're pulling elemental magic from the environment. So you can see in the top right that map, and it kind of moves around depending on what spell you cast. If you cast water, it will get pushed away from water because you're pulling that element out of the air, and it pushes the concentration of that magic to other elements. So it makes those other elements stronger as you kind of go along. Let's take a look here at what we have so far for the sword. So far for the sword, I have started implementing haste. Has a long way to go. I'll start with the shocking blade because I think this one's looking decent at least. So every spell you can kind of harness with your weapon, and it essentially shifts your elemental damage to that weapon. But yeah, we'll take a look here. Gonna be working on implementing haste today. I started it off, but I don't really like the direction it's going. Also, my shocking blade textures disappeared. Gonna have to check that out, see what's happening. But yeah, here's where we're at with haste. So same kind of start animation, right? You can kind of see on our arms, right? That lightning effect. That's really all I have for haste. I think more what I'm gonna do, if you think kind of like a Super Saiyan aura type thing, I think that's what I'm gonna do more than this. I'm gonna kind of have an aura around her that says, hey, you know, I'm powered up in some way. And then there'll be lightning. I'm trying to think through what that looks like. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe the lightning isn't that bad, but I would need to make sure to line it up with her character. But that's what we're gonna be working on. So let's go look at what we have, and we'll see what we can work on. I have updated to Godot 4.3, so that's exciting here. I do see potentially, okay, yep. So yeah, so that's interesting. Seems to be pretty good so far. Haven't noticed a huge difference. Stuff may be broken. For example, I think they made a lot of updates to some of the way the bones move, and I'm a little bit worried that we might have broke some of that. But we will find out. Actually, yes, I think that this is. I've got to go look up whether this still works. Anyway, we'll keep working on that. I'm not too worried yet, but they did change how some of the skeleton stuff works, so I got to figure that out. Anyway, for now, what I'm working on is these little emitters here. Okay, got to think this through. The lightning effect, it's not bad. It could be kind of cool. It's kind of hard to think through here. I actually don't even see it. Oh, okay, that's why, because it's for the wrong person. Where are we at? Right here. It's Earth Effect? Oh, that's the name of the script. All right, so we have little lightning bolts here. I don't think this is the best thing. I think it needs to be a little more obvious. And maybe it's just like a glow, right? Maybe that's better. Maybe it's more of a glow and kind of more faster things. Thinking like kind of like a Super Saiyan type type thing. I don't want to do that for like everything, but maybe buffs do like provide like an aura. Okay, so a couple things first, real quick, because the look's going to be way off with the script here. I need to check what happened here on the weapon scripts, because they broke. Let me see if I can hunt that down, kind of what's happening here. Okay, so let's think here. I think on my weapon scripts, if I go to my right hand, where are my weapon scripts at? Right here. Okay, I did add this. This wasn't there before. Let me see. I think I am adding this though. I think it's just disappearing after the fact. Let's see. This is weapon effects off. So something is triggering weapon effects off as well. Hey! Congratulations, Poetic Tragic, on your first redemption. Big win there. You're always on it. Let's see. So what is triggering weapon effects off right here? So magic effects off. Let me see where I'm casting that. Let's just do a search here for effects off. Okay, so if magic status effect, and then if it's not labeled as a buff. Okay, so let me check Shocking Blade. Shocking Blade may not be labeled as a buff, and that would be a problem. When else do I do it? I also do it if it's just doesn't have a status effect. Let's check real quick on Shocking Slash, I guess it's called. Oh, it's on my status effect. Okay, not on my spell. Let's see if we can find that really quick. Status effects. Shocking Blade. It is marked as a buff. Interesting. So it's marked as a buff, but the magic cast definitely has a status effect associated, right? Look at Stock Slash. Status effect is Shocking Blade. Interesting. So where else does effect off get triggered? That's it? Let's do this. I gotta try to find out what's triggering that. Okay, I've got two things. Magic. They're both effects off though, huh? Okay. Let's try running it again. I'm gonna see. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I can look at it for a moment. I think it turned on and turned off, but maybe it didn't ever turn on. If it didn't ever turn on, I'd be troubleshooting a different problem. So I just want to check that really quick. Let's find out here. All right. Godot 4.3 does go a little faster on the rendering, which is nice. It's not significantly faster, it still takes a moment. But it's faster, which is nice. So I like that. It really helps here. When my OBS is eating up my CPU, it's slowing this down. Off stream, it goes a lot faster. All right, let's check this out. So let's do Shocking Blade really quick, and we'll watch it. What I'm looking for is, does the blade glow? Do the particles effects go off? Okay, it does glow. The particle effects go off. Okay, they're still on, which is great. All right. Let's see if they stay on. Okay, they're on okay. I think what might be happening, I may not have anything to tell it like, hey, only do that if this is your spell being cast. Like if I cast Holy here, right? If I cast Holy, what I think is going to end up happening is the the effect is going to go off the weapon. That's my prediction here. And it doesn't. Okay, it was definitely off last time though. That's really weird. I think if I casted Haste, it would turn off. Oh, interesting. Her arm's glowing because, which kind of looks pretty decent, but her arm is lightninging because, I guess maybe I should make it yellow. But it's essentially because I never turned the emitter off. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so let's see. So maybe it's a fluke. Okay, I think when I cast haste, it'll turn off though. Let's check. I might need to tie it a little bit different. Let's see. Nope, it stays on. It's working great. Maybe there was just some kind of glitch. All right, well, it's looking good. All right, let's go back to working on aura. I think what I can actually do is have this up over on this screen over here. And then I can pull up Godot up over here. So you can see it in the background here. And then we can just mess with some stuff. I think you should be able to see it making changes live here. Okay, so with that, I don't think like around the arms like this really adds much. I mean, it kind of looks cool. And maybe it would be okay. Maybe it's fine to kind of keep. But I think I also have to add some aura to her. So maybe here's what we do. I will, on this root attachment here, I'm going to add a new child node. Let me make this a little bit smaller, maybe. I'm going to leave it, actually. Let's do this. So I'm adding a child node to the root. That's going to be a particle, GPU particle. All right. And then I think what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can give some sort of Super Saiyan-esque aura from this. Let's see. I think what I would do is give it some sort of process material. And actually, I have a shader. The shader actually that's on the bottom of my feet. That kind of might work for this. Let me think. Maybe not. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this process material. Okay, let's make a new mesh for this. I think I'm gonna make a torus mesh. Okay, I do have to put this under the particle, but I'll do that later. First, I'll build it, and then I'll do that. All right, let's see. So, a couple things first. First off, let's go set my spawn information. I want to spawn from a ring around me. Going in, a Z direction. Here, which is good. And then I want it to be a ring. Oh, they changed some of the stuff. It looks decent. Interesting. Look at this. Wow, okay. Interesting. That's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Okay. Initial velocity of 1. It's good. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the 3D version on my end too. Make sure it's loading okay. Oh yeah. Hold up. That's great. Okay, so what I want it to do is I actually want this to be a point. I want to turn gravity off. And then I want to turn the spread to 0. I want it to go in the Y direction, right? Or is it the Z direction? No, it's the Y direction. And I actually want the axis that this goes on instead of being in the... Oh, okay, I see. There you go. I need to live for a little bit longer. All right, all right. So then what I want it to do is I want it to grow over time. So I think that would be in display. What's scale over velocity? Not sure what that means, but let's see. So I'd scale curve. Yep. And basically I'm going to start small and get bigger. Just like that. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Let's see if I can flatten out this mesh a little bit. Inner radius, maybe like 0.7. What if I make that bigger, does it get thinner? Yeah. Okay. Let's add a material. I want it to be a little bit more subtle, right? So let's go up here and I'm going to add a, first off, I need to go here and I need to say, hey, use the vertex color. Then what I can do is on display here, color curves, alpha curve. Let's get to be able to start a little bit transparent. Okay, let's have it something like this, fading like that. Transparency, alpha. Right, so it's coming along. It's coming along. Let's see. What if I did add? No, I want it to be mixed, I think. Okay. Maybe I can do like something like this, but a lot more of them. Let's see. No explosiveness. Interesting. All right, maybe that's something like that's pretty good. Let's set this alpha curve. Let's see, what I think I can do is make this a little bit shorter lifespan. Then I can probably have fewer of these. And maybe that curve like this isn't quite right. Let's go to my scale curve. I think I want to make this linear instead of curving like that. Let's see if I can do that. Is there any settings here? Linear. Okay. Well, that's the alpha curve, isn't it? That one's fine, actually. I want the scaling curve. All right, let's make this linear. Something like that. Oops. Oh, interesting. Not at all what I'm trying to do, though. Okay. I'm not sure what happened, but it ended up okay. All right, so let's see. It's getting close. Let's see. I almost kind of like something like that. Let me set this to linear, though. I think linear is right. Let's see. Let's go down to just this. I think something like this is about right. Let's make this bigger. This is kind of tough. And maybe even something like that kind of grows as it goes up like that. All right, a couple things real quick. I think something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and make it yellow so we can see a little bit better what I think it's gonna look like. Still a long way to go here, but let's go ahead and make it yellow to start, right? I need to increase the alpha quite a bit because I want it to be kind of subtle. So let's do that. Let's go up here to the alpha curve. And I'm going to, I guess, decrease the alpha. All right, something like that. That might be a little bit too transparent, but we'll play with it here in a bit. Let's see. I think that's okay. Let's see. Something like that is okay. That's kind of close to what I'm going for. It obviously needs to be a whole lot more transparent. Let's see. And then pull this back up. I'm not so sure about that. Oh, interesting. I think there's just too many particles. It's looking too solid. I could try making it shorter. What if it was just kind of around your feet? I don't want it to look too much, like too crazy. So let's see if this was just like 0.5, right? And then maybe came in a little bit on the bottom. Let's see, that would be here. Something like, yeah, I guess the bottom curve kind of looks good. I like that. Let's see if we did take this to like 1 second. Let's do 2 seconds just for fun here. Actually, no, I think it looks good kind of near the bottom, right? Like that, right? But I do want it to be a little bit more like a curve. How could I get it to do that? Let me think. So as it comes up, it needs to be the shape of like a parabola. So it needs to kind of be parabolic. So I think what I would do is take this, kind of make it flat. Maybe come out like this with it. Or maybe I need a second node. Let's see, this is scale, right? Yeah. Like staying at 0 probably doesn't help, but maybe like a little bit like that. Yeah, I think I'm going backwards. I think what I need to do is go, like the curve needs to curve up. So what I can do then is take this and curve it up a little bit. Let's see. Let's pull this in. Can I pull this in? Let's see. I do want it to start at 0, even though it's kind of not right now. So maybe I need to kind of go like this. Oh my goodness, this is so hard to make look good. Yeah, maybe instead it just kind of like is a circle like that. I don't think that's quite right, and it's floating off the ground. Let's do this a little bit at a time. I think it needs to have a little bit of width at first. I'm trying, I think, to make like a sphere, maybe. Maybe a sphere is better here. And just offset it. So instead of rings, will the sphere work? If I made a sphere and it... No, because I think it would generate lots of spheres, right? So I do think a single thing like this makes sense. A ring. I just need to make sure to be generating it. Essentially, it should start at pretty much a 0 size and should scale up fairly quickly. Let's go back to here. So it should scale up fairly quickly. Let's see. So it should start pretty much at 0, but it should scale up kind of immediately. But I wish it didn't go that high, right? That is kind of the slope I want. So like something like that's not bad. Okay, so let's make that a little longer and see what happens. If I make this like a 2-second deal. Okay, let's turn down my alpha so I can actually see it. Let's actually turn that off for now. It's gonna look terrible. That looks too bad. I can't look at that for too long. Let me just fade it like this. Let's just start up here. Okay. Also looks bad, but not as bad. All right. So I want it to go faster in terms of growing. What I could do is I could start at some, instead of starting at 0, I could start at some scale. Like start here, for example. And quickly scale up. Obviously kind of a weird shape there, but all right, something like that, and add another one. Something like that. Right, where it's kind of like a ball like that. So I think it is going a little bit higher here. I don't want to ever go higher than 1. I also don't want it to look like a wine glass. Something like that, I think looks decent. I can actually make my max value bigger. Like 2. Yeah, I think something like that's okay. Now I think I can make it shorter. I can probably have fewer things here. I could probably pull it in a little bit. So like on my scale here, what I can do is maybe go like 0.5. Maybe that's too small. Yeah, I think that's starting to get there. Maybe I'll shift it down a little bit. All right. I do think I need more. Something like that. All right. Not bad, not bad. Now let's make it more transparent. Something like that. Okay. I think that's decent. Okay, now let's... I wonder what would happen if I made the rings bigger, but left it transparent. So if I made this like 0.95. Yeah, so that's a little more solid. Okay, maybe 0.95. And then what I can do is have fewer particles. Like that. I think that's not bad. I gotta decide if I want to keep those. I'm not exactly sure. I do want to add some lightning effects on this R over here. Let's see. I wonder if I could add some sharpness to that. I think that's maybe what it needs, right? Like, I think it's just too smooth. I think it might be too smooth. Let's see. If I did make this bigger but added some sharpness to it, what does that look like? How would I do that? I could add... Let me think. I could add some variation to a couple things, I think. Mess with how sharp it looks. Let's go back to straight lines instead of the cup shape there. That'd be on the scale curve. Let's make it back to linear. All right. So let's start here. And go to 1 like this. And we're gonna make it linear. This can come up. Something like that. And then what I want to do, I think, is maybe vary the starting point. Like maybe it's the scale. Is it the scale? Maybe it's the alpha I want to vary. No, I don't think it's the alpha. I guess if I move that out like this, it kind of pulses. I don't think so. I want to leave that. Oh, maybe it's velocity that I want to. Let's change velocity here to add some variation to it. This would be in spawn velocity. Let's start with 1. Okay. Let's see. What if I have between 1 and like 3? 1 and 2. What if I make a whole lot more? Don't think that's the answer. All right. Let's think here. Let's think. How could I do this? Okay, let's go set this back to not varying. Right, because I kind of like how this looks if it was more like maybe stacked on top of each other. Or maybe that's modifying the spawn point. Let's real quick put her kind of in a different pose, maybe. Let's do that just to make it a little clearer. Okay. So I want to match that as well. Oh, is she floating? I never realized, but she is floating. Why is she floating? Is everybody floating? Oh, it's because when she's actually in games, because gravity's not applied. It's okay. It's fine. Okay, so let's check. Check my scale curve. Okay, something like this. All right. And then let's check. Let's see. I mean, I could do something like that. It's not bad. I don't need that high. Like, that's a pretty decent effect. It wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but it's not bad. Let's check here. Let's try some other things. Let's try some angular velocity. Like that's spinning, but the problem is you can't really tell it's spinning. I don't think that really helps. Orbital velocity. A radial velocity. I think that's spinning. Oh, interesting. Oh, actually, that actually does kind of look cool. Yeah, I think that helps. All right, all right. I like that. Okay. Let's see here. So that looks pretty good, I think. And then if I add some subtle lightning, does that help? Let's see, we'll call this. Let's call it lightning effect. We'll have a particle for each of the effects. And so I think for lightning, it'll be something like this. And then we'll add a sub. So let's add a script to it. It's going to be the ground effects script. If I can find it, it's under art, magic, earth effect. Okay. So what that does, it lets me add some sub effects here. So these are pretty simple script. When it runs, it emits. When I tell it to stop emitting, it stops them all from emitting. Sorry. Add a child node here. That is the, actually, let's copy this child node. And there we go. And then basically with lightning effect, let's turn these off real quick. I know we can't really see them. I'll make it nighttime as well. Let's see. Just so we can see a little better here. So let's see. Does she still have the little lightning effects on her arms? She doesn't. Why is that? I just turned them off, didn't I? That explains it. Okay, so basically then, for these effects, I want to have, first off, let's make this unique. And let's make this unique. That's going to let me change these without modifying what I copied it from. Let me do a couple things here. First off, let's take this. Let's make sure that I'm addressing that. Yep, I am. So I probably want to take this and make it a little bit, I want to make it bigger for sure. Do I have, okay, so these are this. Let's make this 1 and 1. So that's like that on the ground, right? Want to spawn these out of a ring instead of a, oh, they already are spawned out of a ring, but the ring is tiny. So something like that, right? Definitely want to make them taller. All right. Maybe some more of them. They're all at 45-degree angles. What if I didn't have any angles on them? I think some angles look good. Some randomness. I don't know if that's too much. I also think I want to change them yellow. Or maybe blue. What if they were blue? Or, let's see. Let's make them yellow, I think. Let's see, so there's white. Let's go ahead and make them glow a bit yellow. I think I want to flip them. I feel like they're upside down from what they should be. Like this looks right if the lightning's coming from the sky, right? But I feel like it's kind of upside down for what I want here. Let's see if I can flip that. Let's see how I do that. I guess I could just transform, rotation. Yeah, none of that's working. Maybe I can't. I'm sure I can. Let's see. Transform. Okay. I would think just flipping it around. But obviously that's doing absolutely nothing. Okay, so that turns it this way. Okay, that should be upside down right now. Right? I mean, if I go 75, it's like this, but they still go up and down. I'm guessing because this just spawns a particle, and then the particle really needs to be upside down. So can I do that? Actually, you know what? That's interesting. That's not good. For now, actually, let me take this back to... I do want it to be a little bit yellow. Let's do some more of these. No, I think fewer. I kind of want it to be subtle. That might give them some transparency. Maybe that'll help them. Let me see. Actually, what if I do -1? Does that make them go upside down? I don't think that flipped them upside down. No, definitely not. But I guess I could go -180 to -180. Still no, yeah. Wild. I guess that didn't go to -180, which is interesting. I guess this could just be +180. And this could be +180, right? What? They all kind of are looking the same. Maybe it's not as important as I thought it would be. I do think I need a little variation in the angle here, though. Okay. Unless it's just straight. If I make it just straight 20 degrees. Not quite. I kind of want it to... I'm trying to think here. I don't think there's a good way to make it kind of spawn just on the outside. I think this is the closest I got there. I do have a spread here. I don't think I want. All right, let's real quick. Add me an alpha curve. Let's see. I think this can be kind of subtle. Let's do like 20 of these. Something like that's looking pretty good, I think. Let's set it outside the boundaries. Let's make my ring look a little bit bigger. Not quite. Maybe it should be bigger in general. Then what if I gave it some hue variation a little bit? So it didn't just straight blend in. Something like that. Let's give it a little more blue. I do like the direction it's going. There you go. I think something like that's decent. What if I add the charge particles? I didn't see the charge particles. Oh, that's the charge particle. I see. That's not what I meant. I meant the, oh, it must be in my other particle emitter thing. Okay, now decision here. Do I like what that looks like for haste? I think I'm going to make this a little more subtle, which basically just take the alpha down a little more. Let's see. Then maybe fewer particles. Sometimes less is more, you know? Here, I think that looks good for haste. All right. So, here's what I need to do now. Would I keep the arm ones as well? Maybe if I make them really subtle. Okay, for them, the only problem is they stay like up and down. They don't actually follow the arms. So I'm not sure if I want to keep them or not. But I guess if I make them subtle enough. Let's see what I can do. All right, so a couple things. First off, maybe negative 180 to 180. Just make it like a glob. Maybe make them spin. Let's get rid of this curve. I think that's helping. Okay. Or radial velocity. Not that high. Not that high. Okay, I don't think radial velocity is what I need. How about directional velocity? I already have that on. But I don't know what that's doing really. Angular velocity? I don't think I want that. But I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I do like that. Now let me turn the colors, change the colors a bit on it. Let's go like a... something like that. And then let's take on the alpha curve. Let's make it more subtle. A whole lot more subtle. let's make it glow a whole lot more. Maybe not quite that much, but I think that's the right idea. Oh, wow, into 100. And actually, I could probably make that a lot smaller even. So right now, what is it? 0.2 and 0.2. If I go 0.1, 0.1. That might be too subtle. I think that's looking pretty good, though. I think it's pretty good here. I think I do need to turn this other lightning up a little bit. And then maybe make it glow a little more. Let's see. Definitely not that. The right idea. Hey, I think just like this. I didn't end up making it glow much more at all. Maybe that's still too much here. And the question is, during the day, would I be able to see it? Let me check here, see if this is mixed. I may see if I can make this an added instead of mixed. Oh, it already is add. Okay. That's great. Like during the day, what does this look like? Okay. Yeah, I might need the lightning to be a little bit more. Which is fine, because I think it's starting to come together. I think it's starting to look pretty good. So let's turn the lightning up here. Okay, so let's start not with this, but let's start with my alpha curve. There you go. I think that's pretty good. Let's see if I should change this at all. Let's play the game a little bit with it and see what it looks like. I haven't coded anything, so it's just gonna be on, which is fine. We'll see what's going on. Let's see. Maybe that looks decent. It might be a little overkill. Let's cast my lightning blade here. Yeah, it might need to be a little more subtle. I mean, it's just like one buff, right? Oh, and it doesn't follow her. So I need to work on that. I will follow her like while she runs. It's just tied to the root. Probably needs to be tied to like her feet or something. Okay. Oh, interesting. A little rebounding there. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I think it needs to be more subtle. For sure. So let's do that. Here we go. Let's take this down. Let's change. Okay, so a couple things. Let's change this to 0.99. I do need to probably make the lightning more subtle. What if it's just the lighting? Oh man, it's the script automatically turns that off if I turn that on. Okay. I don't think just the lightning helps anyway. Okay, let's go back to what it was here, which was something like this. And then what I think I want to do is change the alpha on that pretty significantly. Let's go to my alpha curve. Let's pull it down. All right. And then what I think I want to do is go on here. And then I want to go back to my, first off, I want to, I think just like change this down to like 2. Maybe even 1. No, I think it needs 2. All right, and then I want to change the transparency back up. I like seeing it in game. Help me kind of see what this should look like. Which I think is something subtle like this. Okay, and then let me change this root attachment. One thing I need to do is I need to make sure I don't, with the root attachment, I don't break this. Let's cast a spell. So the charge particles are on my root attachment, right? So I need to make sure if I change that root attachment from root to like hips, I'm gonna have to lower it down, but I think that works. Oh wait, you see how it's angled? I don't want it angled. So maybe I would do like the, let's see. Like the toe. Oh, interesting. Nope. Well, I could edit as long as the toes don't change, but toes might change. Let's see. Definitely not the upper leg. Maybe like the heel. Maybe it should just be root. The only problem with root is when I attack and stuff, it won't follow me. I could do spine. I need something that doesn't move around. I think root is the only thing I can do here. I think if it's subtle enough, it'll be fine. It's when it's not very subtle that it's a problem. Which I think this is pretty subtle. I think it's going to be okay. Move this to my other screen here. All right. Might need to be a little more subtle. Ah, okay. It also definitely needs those little particles. That's really, I think, what it's missing. Okay, so a couple things here. All right, let's put this over here. Does need to be more subtle, which I know it's getting pretty subtle, but it needs to be more subtle. I think you should like barely be able to see it. Okay. The lightning I think is okay. I'll make the lightning a little more subtle too. Actually, lightning's fine. I like the lightning. Okay. It's just kind of like a haze, you know? All right, so let me grab though from my particles here. Or my spell emitter. Let's grab this. And let's put this under me like this. I'll have to close this out. Wait. Lightning effect 3? No, I need particles extra. Okay. And then I don't want this to be one shot. Basically want this on as long as I'm buffed. But maybe I should have one for each spell type. So if I have multiple buffs, I've got different spell things going around me. That's also way too many. So I think something like that. I don't know about the hand effects. Are they still on? Yeah, they are. I think I'm going to ditch the hand effects. I don't think they're great, but I do think the particles are kind of cool. Yeah, I think something like this. So now I just got to code it up, which I can copy a lot of it from my spell emitters. Basically, I need to change the color to whatever color spell I'm casting, which is pretty straightforward. I'm going to get rid of these because they're complicated. Let me take this real quick. Cut them. Put it under here. Go ahead and delete these. Actually, I guess keep them. I don't think it adds much. I'll keep them for now. Okay. And then what I'll do here is save that. Come in here. We'll go to magic. And I'm going to go take this script. Which I think is this. Let's see here. One thing that's interesting I'm noticing in this script is I turn particle extras on for every cell, which might be okay, I guess. No, it's okay. All right, so let's see. So really I need this. Okay. Effect particles. Okay, so it's not going to be an instance type thing. Let me go back to, okay, from here. Is it just in here? Yeah, I have body effects on. So basically what I want to do is set the color. Okay. All right. And then within here, I'll say get node. I can do root attachment dot get node this. And the same thing here. Don't worry about these. I guess I can leave them on for now. I don't think they look great, but they're not bad. And then what I'll do is root attachment dot get node this. I think I'm gonna have this lightning effect, right? Why can't I also have this lightning effect? That's strange. Oh. Oh, I hope I didn't lose everything there. Godot just crashed. It did not like that. Well, let's find out here. I guess I just ran my game, so, right? Not sure. I'm not sure why I can't name the other node lightning effect. I do think I don't think everything needs a unique name. It's kind of weird. Let's let this load and we'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, looks like it saved. Did it move it over to... Yeah, it already moved it over. Everything's good. Perfect. Okay, so... Don't try moving that to lightning effect 1. Moral of this story. Let's go back to scripts. Let's pull magic and let's pull particles. Okay. If this didn't save, that's okay. It's really easy to grab. Basically right here is all I really added. And let's go ahead and add that right here. So I will do just root attachment.get node there. Root attachment.get node there. Okay, this should be magic cast. Okay. And what I need to do, I need to turn on lightning effect. Which, yeah, I'll probably ditch. I probably won't worry about the hands right now, like adding the lightning around the hands. It does look pretty decent now, I guess. I can leave it for now. Root attachment. Okay. Let's try that. Let's go ahead and make sure these all start off. There's no way for them to turn off yet. Which is fine. All right, save that. Come back here. Check these versions. Cool. Basically, I think what I'll do is have it just when the buff is set, these stay on. So I think I'm going to simplify a lot of this. I'm going to end up putting it inside the nodes themselves. Let's find out. If this looks pretty good, I think I'm going to call it. I'm not feeling great tonight. So let's find out. So I'll do sword magic. I will do lightning, haste. All right. I think that looks decent. I don't know that the lightning is applied. It does have the particle effects. Oh, I do see the little thing around. I don't see the lightning. I don't think it got triggered. Let's check. I can go to remote. I can go to Aria, particles, root attachment, lightning effect, and it is on, it says. Okay, yeah, but effect choose not on. I see what happened. Okay, so here's what happened. In my particles, when I copied them over, see this sub effect? Just didn't get applied. That's pretty easy. Let's see if that copies over. And it does. Does it copy over for her too? Yes. Let's try it one more time. This looks good. I'm gonna call it. It looks pretty decent though. Not bad. It feels more like a lightning effect on me than like haste. Right? So I gotta think that one through. But I think we're coming up on something. I think the question is, do I want to have status effects like some sort of status effect type thing for everything, right? Like some sort of animation. Probably not. The generic ones are probably good. I can probably have some sort of icon that shows up on her also. But this like says, hey, I have a lightning effect on me, right? And that looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it looks fine for haste. And maybe it is like the arm things. Maybe the arm things mean haste. Or maybe I could just put like a little haste symbol down here or something. But it's not bad. All right, and then we can cast Shocking Blade. All right. Now I can go fight over here. Ultimately, it looks pretty decent. Oh, man. Rubber banding a little bit. I do need to turn off Delta time. Because for a tactical RPG, Delta time doesn't matter. But when I'm streaming, it does some weird things. So, okay, I'm going to cast. What I'm doing here is I'm casting a bunch of water spells. And water spells are going to drive my map over towards the water. Ooh. Okay. All early. All right. Let's see what I got. Okay. Man, oh, repeat action. That's not right. I definitely hit a different button. Maybe I accidentally hit a button first. Huh. She's getting repeat action every time too. Let me see if that's just a glitch. Man, it's a little laggy. I do think it's largely the stream. No, it's fine. He's doing some damage. Okay. Let's see. Interesting. Yeah, a little bit glitchy. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. Wonder if that has to do with haste a little bit. Not sure. All right. Repeat action. Okay, so I have a sword. Hitting A then X is resulting in repeat action. Let me check real quick. Make sure nothing's broken on that animation thing. Kind of what it feels like. A then X. Let me open up animations. Interesting. I could also have all of her animations go a lot faster. That's what like Final Fantasy does with haste, right? Okay. So animation tree. So what I need to do is come in here to this animation tree node. Man, this is going slow. I think Godot 4.3 is slower than Godot 4.2. Okay. Well, it could also still be resolving stuff, right? I obviously have a lot of errors. All right, animation tree. Let's go to melee attack. Okay, so sword. Let's see here. Sword A to X. So A to X definitely exists. I wonder why it wouldn't take it. Very strange. Let's see real quick. If I go make this small. Animation tree for her. Animation tree. Melee attack. If I go to A, from A to X with her. Yeah, I mean, it should work. Very weird. Unless it's just going too fast. Let's try this one more time. I'm not sure why A to X wouldn't work. Also wonder if I just have too many particles going. I'm definitely running at a slower frame rate. So I wonder if frame rate's impacting this. Okay. Let's see. So I should be able to go back here. I should be able to hit A and then X. Oh my goodness. Lagging. Oh my gosh. I gotta fix the lag here. Repeat action. Let's see if they're all repeat actions. I wonder. That's so weird. That A to X worked fine. What? So it is A to X it's claiming as repeat action, which means basically it doesn't think it's a real action there. So A to X. Okay, so yeah, it definitely thinks A to X doesn't exist. That is on the sword. Do I have all three of those going to X? Yeah. Just not to X. Wild. Okay, so what does this look like? Okay, versus kind of top right. I wonder. Let's go back to this. I wonder if my A for some reason is mapped to Sword Star X. It shouldn't be. Hey, what is happening? I'm gonna try A and A as well. Yeah, it's possible that every time I'm doing Sword Star X for some reason. First, let's try A, X. Okay, repeat. Does that work with all weapons? A. Wait, I got a repeat action? Okay, there is a glitch with that code for sure. A, X. Works fine. Okay. A is also repeat action. It should be. Essentially what's happening is the code, you need to hit a different button every time to string a combo. And it's broken for some reason on A to X, just with the sword. Which tells me that the transition doesn't exist, because the way it works is it checks to see if a transition exists from where you are to where you're trying to go. And so if transition doesn't exist, it won't do it. But okay. 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 But it definitely does. Strange. Let's go look at the code. Okay. Accept. Cancel. Man, it uses that same code. And how's it checking here? where am I saying repeat action? Right here. Repeat action display. Okay, I connect that to what? Oh, a signal. Okay. Okay, so there's a couple things here. If input received and I okay. Then if nested action has transition between my current playback node and where I'm going, that's when it'll trigger a repeat action. So I hit it okay. But there was no transition. So either, and let's do this. Let's print this. I'm going to say print current node okay. And then what I'm going to do is grab this. And I'll say print target node. It could be that, yeah, something's eating my input, maybe. We'll find out in just a moment. All right. So let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay. Invalid. So it did go here. The output anything? No. Interesting. Okay. So what was the error here? Invalid call the function hash transition in base animated node state machine. Expected 2 arguments. Oh, shoot. Yeah. I see. I just want that. Let's try it again. That's weird. I'm showing an error in my Twitch connection. That's all right. Okay, let's see. So let's see if this is fixed. And we'll get the data here. So yeah, it says repeat action there. Let's see what it was trying to click. If we look down here, current node was jump back. Okay, so I think what's happening is the attack is too fast. So if you look at my animation tree, jump back is all the way over here. So what's happening is in the time it takes, interesting, in the time it's taking to play it at all, it's doing that. So what I need to do here, I think I got this. Okay, so I need to change that time scale from 1.5. What is that in like my animation node? I may just need to refresh my animation nodes. That just seems a little fast. All right, let's check. $1.5. Let's change that to 1. I think I'm going to make all of them 1. I think there's no reason for it to go that fast with the new system. It still feels really fast, and this is gameplay, right? So I'm just modifying these. Essentially what I'm changing here is the time scale so that they go a little slower. And we'll see what happens. All right, save that. Let's see if it updated on the main here. Sometimes they don't, but in 4.3 it might be a little better. Cool, it did. Well, that one I already changed, maybe? Nope. All right. Let's try this again. All right, so let's test this out, and then I'll kind of explain the attack mechanic. So the way the attack mechanic works, if you've ever played Legend of Dragoon, it's very similar to that. So essentially, as you attack, you can string together combos. Every time I hit a different button, I have a different attack there. And every attack, it gets harder and harder to string together the next combo until it becomes frame perfect. So ultimately, you can string together some pretty long combos. Moves like haste give you more attacks. You can have complete flubs like that. And really just severely changes, I think, the way you approach combat whenever you can have multiple attacks like that. You do have a stamina system down at the bottom right. You can see that, where essentially you've got to maintain your stamina in order to do attacks. Once that hits 0, you can no longer do attacks. And the animation times are all different depending on the different weapons. So there's always kind of a different play to it. If you've never played Legend of Dragoon, check it out. So Legend of Dragoon has a great attack system. When I was young, I was playing, and my best friend woke me up one day and he said, "Hey, I deleted your save." I was on disc 4, and I've never actually beaten it because I couldn't go back. back in the days of memory cards, there was no recovery. If your save got saved over, you were pretty much done, and it completely killed Legend of Dragoon for me. I want to go back and play it. Maybe I should. Really like the combat system, though. That's kind of the inspiration for here. All right. With that, I think that's looking great. I think that fixed our problem. I did have a weird repeated act. Oh, it probably was the same thing, though. So let me check. I'm going to check with the staff real quick and see why she got repeated action on her first attack. I think I hit A. I might have hit X. Let me check that real quick and then we'll call it. Ultimately, I need to try like every combination of this. This is where playtesting will really help. Okay. No, that looks fine. All right. Yeah, so every weapon gets a different number of attacks to start, and then things like haste increase it. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it. It's getting late. We will find someone to raid, though, here. But thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you around shortly, and yeah, I hope you have a good night. Let's see who we want to raid this time. We are going to raid. Let's find someone new to raid, actually. We can raid. I'm looking to see if I can find another similar size Godot developer here. All right, how about Maze Red? I know nothing about this person, so hope all is well, but y'all have a good night. Thanks for hanging out.